Last night you saw in the Spurs when Nate hit him to the
Exactly.
body. He kind of like folded a little bit, but Nate didn't have the speed to like upkeep his, you know, the endurance in that fight and upkeep his speed.
Yep.
And I think this is why I think the tournament of the junior welterweight need to happen with Bradley and you know, Khan and you know, and I think this is going to prove to who the best junior welterweight is.
And speaking of the rest of the junior welterweights, what are the future for these guys? We talked a little bit about Nate. What about Malignaggi? I'm not sure if he has anything left against the elite fighters. Does he become a stepping stone for younger fighters?
Unfortunately, I see that happen.
I spoke to the Bella last night, and he didn't want to comment on that, but I know what he was trying to say. He wants his, just like he wanted Jermaine Taylor to retire, I'm pretty sure he wants Paulie to retire. He actually, you know, he likes Malignaggi a lot, and he doesn't want to see him get hurt anymore.
I think Paulie still has a few fights left in him, and I don't think at that level, but I think he could still stay around, and you know, if that's what he chooses to do, but he has to come back and really put his heart to it and realize that it's not a sport where you're gonna be, you know, I fight this guy today and want to move up to that class. You know, you got to know where you stand in boxing and know the guys that you could get in there with and not get hurt. You know, and that B, like I said, the B fighters still is, like I said, is a Kendall Holder out there. The guys like that who are not happening. These fights need to be made. It's good for TV and it's good for all of us. You know, the public, the boxing fans has been cheated. You know, and I think these are the fights that need to be where you have a stepping stone, just like baseball or basketball, has a farm team to grow these guys. And who the winner is from the B class should be able to fight some of the A fighters, because the A fighters do not want to fight each other, and TV is killing some of the deals from that happening.
Right. Nermal, you're talking about A fighters, B fighters. What is Khan? Is he an A fighter now?
I think Khan has to prove himself. You know, he fought like everybody on TV said and all over the public, he fought Paulie, a B plus. I say a B plus. People say B. Because when you have a heart like Paulie, and if Paulie had a punch like he had a heart,
that's what
you know
I'm
what I
saying.
mean, he would have been a dangerous guy. So you got to give all that into consideration. He came to America. Who has he fought? He hasn't really, you know. Maidana was his mandatory. He ran from it. So let's see him fight one of the lead guys. And you know, like they said last night, handpicking opponents in these fights and these A guys who think they're A fighters, put them in there with the A fighters. You know.
Okay, Aris. Speaking of the A fighters, here's one of the top guys, one of the A fighters in the junior welterweight division, Timothy Bradley. Look at those abs. That's scary.
It's ridiculous.
That's scary. And he's a vegetarian also.
Vegan.
Well, he's
Vegan.
vegetarian when he gets ready for fighting.
He's a vegan when definitely. That's amazing. Guys, okay. Timothy Bradley. Is Khan ready for Timothy Bradley, Aris?
Right now, I don't believe Khan's ready for Timothy Bradley. Bradley actually, you know, surprised everyone when he came on the scene, defeated Junior Witter. He's proved his worth then, coming off the canvas, defeating Kendall Holt, beat up Nate Campbell, also just dominated Lamont Peterson, excuse me. Yeah, so he's looking really good right now. And he's the top of the division, but no one wants to fight him because there's not enough money involved with it. Amir Khan, the way he still fights, he's as fast as can be. He has very good skills and all that, but he tends to jump in still tends to lunge in. And a guy like Tim Bradley, who's very composed, knows how to box really well on the foot and everything, he's going to exploit that. Khan, I still feel, needs to build up with a couple other guys, maybe take on a Maidana after that, but for a Tim Bradley right now, I think Bradley is a little too much too soon.
Well,
let that fight marinate.
Well, if we look at Khan, I mean, his first fight after losing to Bradis Prescott was Barrera.
Yeah.
Barrera, you know, was a featherweight now. And then he took on Kotonik, Andres Kotonik, who really boxing-wise wasn't really that good. And now he fights Paulie, who can't really knock out anybody.
He's a project, exactly.
Right, exactly.
They're building him back up right now.
So they're picking guys who really can't crack right now. And his next opponent, they have somebody for him, I think, I don't think they have anybody yet, but July 31st is his next fight. And they probably have somebody else who can't punch.
Well, last night he was saying he wanted Maidana.
He said that.
Yeah,
because I didn't
said it.
catch
And as a fight is hard, and I know, you know, Freddie might not want that fight, but it should happen. It should happen. Or if not that fight, the Alexander fight. Let these guys fight, the four guys, pay them the top dollars, and let the public don't be cheated over another big hype fight. You know, let these guys settle the score.
That's thank you, Nermal, for bringing up another one of the 8 fighters in the junior welterweight division. Devin Alexander, he just knocked out Urango.
Yeah.
And quickly, guys, what do you think of Khan's chances versus Alexander?
Alexander has improved. I mean, we saw it in the Urango fight. I mean, he kept his poise, he boxed, he listened to his corner, and he got the knockout. and he knocked out a guy who nobody knocks out. I mean, Urango is as tough as it come. He can't box, but he can sure fight, and he had a good beard. I mean, he got up from Randall Bailey's punch, which somebody we know didn't get up from that punch. I mean, a lot of guys we know didn't get up from that punch. So it was really interesting to see him knock out a guy as tough as Urango.
I think he just graduated to the A with that fight.
With that
you know,
fight.
and this is the same thing that has to happen to with Khan. Khan has to have a fight like this where it's going to propel him to that next level. You know, Paulie was one of them guys that he came to America. It's your first fight. You wanted a softer opponent. If you call it that, I don't think it was. I think he really had to work for it. If Paulie didn't just give in to him. But I think in order for him to do that, he has to beat Alexander or Bradley, who is at the top of the level right now. Who I choose is the main guy.
So,
to be beat.
But I got something to say also. For some reason, Devon Alexander and Timothy Bradley are not meeting up. I think that Devon's people wanted to fight with Timothy Bradley, and they turned it down. So
I think that should be the final.
But that should
they should have 2 semifinals with these 2 guys, and then
You're talking about a tournament.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there should be a tournament in every weight class. And boxing will probably be alive again.
Right. I mean, this and here's a fight. Unfortunately, it probably won't happen because they're both Golden Boy fighters. Ortiz versus Khan. I think that would be an interesting fight because you have both guys who are maybe not A-level fighters yet, but they're both guys that are coming up. Unfortunately, they're both promoted by Golden Boys, so those kinds of fights won't happen.
And the next fight, though, I believe, for Khan, that actually would probably be good for him as a stepping stone for someone who's fast and has some power. Put him in with Zab Judah. Zab's still around junior welterweight. That'd be a very good fight for him. That's a good. I think that's a fight that Khan can win, and that's a big name. And from there, then he'll be ready to step up to the Alexanders and everyone. So Zab Judah could be the wild card for that division.
And Zab Judah would jump at that opportunity.
And you also got Lamar Peterson stepping on the side. You also have Kendall Holt.
Kendall Holt, Kaiser Mabuza, they're all out there.
Well, guys, if Khan fights and beats Zab Judah, I think we're going to have to give him the Brooklyn Junior welterweight belt. Come on, Brooklyn, you got to represent here. Somebody's got to take this guy away from Khan. We can't have him beat 2 Brooklyn boys in a row, guys.
Just might happen.
So,
actually, he did.
He beat 2. He just beat
All right, Judah, come on, man.
Time to represent.
If he's thinking of stepping up to 47, we have one that really could beat him.
It's almost looking like looking for an American heavyweight. We're looking for the Brooklyn,
which is the perfect segue to the next. There was also on the undercard of that fight, we had Tor Hamer, New York area heavyweight, lost his first fight to Kelvin. The Price is Right. Price. He lost. Tor got knocked down. He got up in the first round, I believe. He got knocked
down in the
first round.
First or second?
First round. He got up. They fought 6 rounds, and Price won the unanimous decision in 6 rounds. Guys. Split decision. I'm sorry. Split decision. 6 rounds. Guys, what was in Tor's future?
Well, really, what happened in his fight? I mean, his last fight, I wasn't there to witness it, but a lot of people told me it was a terrible fight. He fought a guy that was knocked out by
Alexis Mejias. He was knocked out by Derek Roddy.
Derek Rossi, right?
Rossi, excuse me,
Derek Rossi. And he looked terrible in that fight. And he fought a guy last night who really didn't have experience. I mean, I talked to the guy after the fight. The guy has 1 amateur fight, and he was a basketball player. That's what got him into boxing. So the guy's learning.
Isn't Tor a football player?
Tor was a football player?
Tor was a football player at Penn State.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like, great. I'd say he's an athletic guy, but I think he's also too small for heavyweight. I seen him when he fought his 5th fight, and I really don't think. I think he would be better off as a cruiserweight. And if he don't, he's not gonna. His career is just limited as a heavyweight. I don't see him fighting them guys who are 240, 250 and really lasting.
The super heavyweight guys.
Nah, he fights a real heavyweight. I think he's going to be in trouble. And fighting a guy like this guy last night who was really green and there for the taking, he couldn't figure him out.
34 years old.
He didn't use. I didn't see any skills there. I didn't see any bobbing and weaving because he was a shorter guy. When he got on the inside, I didn't see him work on the inside with any body punching. And he just smothered himself a lot. And the bigger guy, actually, to me, he won the first 3 rounds, which would have made it a draw. But then he got the knockdown in the first round, which, if it wasn't for the ropes, he would have landed on the floor. So, he was a little bit upset. Tor Hamer was a little bit upset when the fight was over and he walked out, was pissed off because he didn't get the decision. he did win the last 2 rounds. He did fight hard for those last 2 rounds, but he didn't win that fight.
Hopefully, he uses whatever anger he has in him to focus himself, on refining his game. And